Hello there everyone, welcome back to Get Involved. As you can see, it is me, Marshall, Mr. Ryan. We were doing the preview and the predictions this time around as Benji is away. It was his birthday yesterday. He is busy and the other lads are busy as well. We may get them joining me later for the live stream that we're going to do on this YouTube channel and also my Twitch channel, Mr. Ryan Woo. I'll leave it in the description if you want to come join us and react with us. That'd be great. So we're going to be talking about the England versus Iceland game that is later on tonight in about 3 hours time. So I'm around about the same time as Benji was, which is great. We're going to go through maybe predicted lineups. You'll also see on the screen here that there's something to talk about in this video as well. Because ultimately, that's the 26-man squad, the official England 26-man squad that has been picked for the Euros. Before we do any of that though, let me know your predicted lineup for tonight's game against Iceland. You can't see my thumb, but I'm doing a 1. And then your predicted scoreline. I'm going with a comfortable 3-0 win again. I think against Iceland, we've got it. So I'm going 3-0. But let's talk about this firstly. So, we know the likes of Quansah, Branthwaite, Grealish, and Trafford got dropped. So, we obviously are taking... And Maguire got dropped as well, which is a big one. But he had an injury from what he's been said. So, and yes, you might be going, well, hold on a second there. Sure, and Dunk's injured. Yeah, I know. I'm not the boss. I don't know what he's thinking. But ultimately, he's made his decision and he's left Maguire and company out. And going on to team news, Shaw and Dunk are injured, so expect them to miss this match. But if we go, I've got my trusty little tablet here that you can see. So this is basically how I do a lot of the things now, which is great, so I can read off to you. So, the predicted lineup, apparently, for England, I've got 2 here. So I'm going to give you my prediction, but these are 2 different sites. I'll be honest, I looked about 8 sites, 7 of them with the same exact copy and paste across the site. So, thankfully, I found a different one. So they reckon that they're going to play Pickford, Walker, Stones, Guehi, Gomez, Alexander-Arnold, Rice, Saka, Bellingham, Foden and Kane. They think we're going to go full out for the Iceland match, being in mind it's our last friendly. The other side has said we're going to go for Ramsdale, Walker, Stones, Guehi, Trippier, Mainu, Rice, Saka, Foden, Palmer and Kane. So, both of them have got Kane to start. We've got different goalkeepers. If I'm being completely honest with you, the way I look at this team, you can start any keeper. I would start Pickford personally, because Pickford's our starting goalkeeper, and it's always good to get minutes under your belt. Maybe you play Dean or Ramsdale for minutes, because they might not get it in the Euros, so there is that. Obviously, Dunk and Shaw are injured, I've said, so you've kind of got your basic back line. I think Trippier is going to be our left back for the competition, because if Shaw's not fit enough, Trippier's really... And Joe Gomez has played left back this season, admitted, but I think our back 4 will be Mark Guehi, Stones, Walker and Trippier, personally. That kind of, I think, is going to be the concrete. But for tonight's game, that's what I'm expecting. In midfield, I'm expecting the likes of Kobe Mainoo and Rice as well, but I wouldn't be honest if there was a part of me that didn't want to see Adam Wharton and Kobe Mainoo as a midfield 2 in that defensive mid role, because that's the future of our midfield, is Mainoo and Wharton, if obviously they stay at the level they have done. I love that. I just love that idea of it. You know, they're really good talents. I'm a Palace fan. If you don't already know, I'm a Palace fan. The most represented club in this tournament, well, in our England squad, is Crystal Palace, which is absurd to me, considering you've got City, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, all these teams. But to have Palace with the most represented, look, I know it's Southgate, and it might be a bit biased, but for me, I'm happy, okay? I'm very happy with the squad, or the players we've chosen. Going on to our bit more of a midfield, I would, again, going kind of back slightly, I would be having Rice and Mainoo maybe in this one. And then I'd probably look at maybe Anthony Gordon. I said in a previous video, I don't think Anthony Gordon goes. Clearly, I'm wrong. I'll hold my hand up to it. I apologise. I was wrong. But looking at the players we've got in there, he's not a starter. So I think this friendly would be a good chance to get him on the board and basically show us what we can do, or what he can do. Sorry. So with that being said, I would like to see Gordon play tonight. I'd also like to see Bukayo Saka play tonight. Jude Bellingham to get minutes in the England shirt again, and then probably Ivan Toney up top. So again, different players from what we had last week in terms of our attack, with Kane off the bench. You've got obviously Cole Palmer, Phil Foden, Eze, all these players that can come off the bench and create an impact. Obviously in the midfield, you've got Trent, Conor Gallagher. So I just think this friendly now, for me at least anyway, again, let me know what you think, what your predicted lineup is and your scoreline is, because I just think this is the kind of friendly that give the other players a couple, some minutes. Maybe not the guaranteed starters, or maybe you want some of the guaranteed starters in there to get their, fitness up and their minutes in. So that's kind of why I've gone with an Anthony Gordon, because again, I don't think he's going to be a starter, but he means something to the squad because Southgate's picked him. But I think Saka's going to be maybe your starter, so you put him in as well. Ivan Toney, again, not necessarily a starter, but a really good striker. Maybe rest Kane, and then Kane can come in half time and do what he does best, score. So I'm looking at that lineup. I think you rest the lads that played on Monday, and you switch it up a little bit. Keepers wise, I'm still going to pick Pickford, as I've already said, but any of those keepers can play. Any of those keepers can play tonight, and Benji touched up on this at some point in another video. I do not have any issues with anyone in this squad. Maybe I'm a little bit like, oh, Maguire was left out, but I'm not too fussed about Maguire being left out. Like, I think he's great for country, but Southgate's made a decision, and that's what he's made. Every player here has a job to play, has a role to ensue, and for me personally, I'm okay with it. So my predicted lineup, just so everyone is follows, and you can go against me if you want, is Pickford, Guehi, Stones, Trippier, Walker. I'm looking at this as you're looking at this. Rice, Kobe Mainu. Then I'm going to go Gordon on the left, Bellingham in midfield at cam, Saka right mid or right wing, and then Ivan Toney up top. Obviously, let me know. But just before we wrap up Iceland, so of course we've got to speak about Iceland, and they have a predicted lineup. They think they're going to go with a 4-4-2. So they're going to play Vladdy Marson, Paul Halson, Bjarnson, Gretarsson, Finson, Gudmundsson, Traustason, Porterson, Ingerson, A. Gudmundsson, and Gudjonsson. So yeah, again, if you know those players, fair play to you. I hope I haven't butchered their names. So a little kind of behind the scenes bit. So we have some stats and some thingies here. So obviously, what time does England kick off? It kicks off at 7:45 British Standard Time tonight at Wembley. England versus Iceland head-to-head record: 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 win for Iceland. So obviously we played them 5 times. We've won 3 out of the 5 and drew 1. The last time we met each other in the Nations League, we beat them 4-0. Their current form. Actually, their current form's technically better than ours because we have 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss in the last 5. They have 2 losses and 3 wins in the last 5, which is quite good for them. And then finally, so England were beaten for the first time in 21 games at Wembley in March, although Iceland are highly unlikely to pose a threat of Brazil on Friday. Obviously, we've got our 26-man squad, and this site is predicting England 4-0, which I'm inclined to agree with. I do think we're going to beat them 4-0. I think it's going to be comfortable, but I also want Iceland to pose a threat. I don't want us to think that, oh, it's only Iceland, because look, Iceland have beat us before. Seen it happen, They're a good side regardless, and I want them to put up a fight and give us a worry. I want us to give us a challenge ready for the Euros, because look, no easy game. They're never. Saul, there's always a saying with Saul, one of our kind of co-owners with this, is football's a funny old game. You never know what's going to happen. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching this preview prediction kind of thing, I will be live around about 7 p.m. for the live stream, again on this YouTube channel and also on my Twitch channel for today. And then we'll look at going forward with different streams. But if you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will hopefully see you later for the England match. Come on, England.